Bought this bike from a insurance total loss auction. It was at a Copart auction, but I actually had to go through a third-party vendor. I used a company called Auto Bidmaster because I don't have a dealer's license. It didn't look too bad in the pictures. My biggest concern was that if the immobilizer wasn't working, I would have a hard time getting that straightened out without going to the dealership to have them recode the computer.
This is a 2016 Ducati Scrambler. Bought it from the insurance auction. It was a total. It's a theft recovery. So I'm just going to kind of take you through the process of turning it back into a running bike. There's not really that many things wrong with it. Looks like it's been sitting out in the weather for a little while. Headlights missing. The ignition's messed up. The key wouldn't turn, so it's got something wrong with it. I'm working on that right now, trying to figure it out. Almost got it fixed. Battery was, of course, dead. Vapor canister's knocked off, but really, there's not that much wrong with it. I got the bike relatively cheap, except for the auction fees. I'm probably paying more in auction fees than what the bike cost. So this video is going to kind of be about just the average person buying a bike from the auction to see if it's worthwhile to do. Mostly cosmetic things are wrong with it. I think a lot of cleaning up. Both tires are junk. Somebody sliced them. The VIN report said it only had 337 miles on it, but I kind of doubt that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Once I get the new battery in it and get the ignition fixed, we'll turn on the key and see what it really has. I plan on making this kind of a little adventure bike.
Here's a breakdown of the fees I paid. The final bid on the auction was $1,300. The Copart auction charged me $545, plus I had to pay the sales tax. And you got all these transaction fee, documentation fee, some membership fee, and I had to pay for shipping too. They would not let me go there and pick it up. I had to have it shipped. So the total was $2,962. And this was actually the second time it went up for auction. The first time, I think the bid was $900 and the seller did not accept it. Seems like these vehicles generally go for about 15% of value. If I had a dealer's license, I probably would have saved roughly about $500 on this transaction.
I'll probably be shopping some Chinese parts for it just to keep it affordable. I did find out that the Ducati parts situation is not as user-friendly as, say, a Honda or Yamaha or something. It's hard to look the parts up. There's not that many suppliers. OEM parts are very expensive. So I'm going to try not to have to buy anything from Ducati itself. So to get it to start, all I had to do was add a new battery and make the ignition lock cylinder turn. Started right up first try. Went ahead and added a battery tender outlet there. Okay, let's see if it starts.
I did a vehicle history report on this bike. It showed it only had 337 miles, but obviously that's not going to be true. It did show that the main damage was the front end and also some side damage, and also showed it was a recovered theft. And I guess this Ducati is actually made in Thailand. So you can see here's the actual miles, 22,576. It's a little different than 337.
Here's what we got done yesterday. I got the rear tire on. It's a Continental TKC 80. It's kind of a badass looking tire. Changed the oil. I had to have the whole exhaust pipe off to get to the screen. So I had it off. I went ahead and painted the muffler shield. And I'm waiting on a front tire. It's kind of hard to find a knobby in a 18-inch front. Plenty for the rear, but not for the front. But I finally found one. I forget what it is, but we'll be doing that soon as it gets here. And today I got a headlight that's supposed to be arriving, so we'll start getting that wired in and go from there. Right now I'm waiting on my front tire to get here. As you can see, that one's flat. Somebody sliced the side of it. Plus I'm going to put a knobby on it. So today's project will be to install this headlight here. It's a cheap setup off Amazon. I think I'm into it 50 or 60 bucks total. I'm gonna have to splice into the factory wiring for the headlight and put my own connector on there, because I can't find anything that'll match that. I'm sure there's something out there, but I don't want to spend a fortune on a wire connector. Got a couple little odds and ends ordered, waiting on that. Levers, hand guards. I'm also trying to repurpose some stuff off my Husky. That's where these mirrors came from. These are going to go on here. Handlebar pad. I know I'm mixing brands, but I'm going to take this bar off the center. I think that'll look pretty good right there. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. So yesterday I finished installing the headlight, figuring out the wiring and getting it hooked up. It's not a plug and play. I had to splice into the OEM wiring. And I got the front wheel off, get ready to mount the new tire I just got. So we'll see what this headlight looks like. There it is. That's dim. There's bright. I like the yellow on it. I think it looks pretty cool. Now to get the front tire on. The front tire I found is a Bridgestone Battle Axe. It's a 190/18. Not too many choices for knobbies for this size front rim. This one should work pretty good. We'll see. I think it's a nice looking combo. Front and rear tires. I'm thinking something's wrong with the handlebars. I believe they have the wrong bend in them. They should come straighter out here and then go down, because I don't have enough room for the controls to fit before the bend. My vapor canister mount was really screwed up, so I just put a hose clamp on there. I'm gonna try to find something that looks a little better, maybe something a little smaller. I still want to keep a vapor canister, but just not so ugly. And just need to kind of tidy up a few things, and we'll be ready to go for a test ride. Here's where we're at today on it. Put the new handlebars on. Went with a little bit higher rise. Laid them back a little bit. I'll probably get some different mirrors. These ones are just the ones that came on that bike right there. And the next thing I need to do is replace the fork seals. They were leaking a little bit. So I used a seal saver and it appears to have stopped the leaking, but I'm going to go ahead and pull them off and put new seals in them anyway. So I'll be taking a little break from this one because I need to work on this one, the Husky, so I can go on my Death Valley ride coming up soon. So that'll be about it on this one for a little while.